Alright folks, bit of show and tell, eh? O'Neill's haulage. Right place, right time. So here's a little thing that I do when I'm draining my water. I had another hose and I would do the old syphon, like blow and suck and then siphon out, right? And then I thought, hang on, I've got this bloody hose here. So what I do to get it going, initially I just unscrew the pump, okay, unscrew the shower head, put that in the bottle I want to siphon, make a point of making the bottom roughly higher than the top. So you can get an angle there. Right. So I get it going first, take that off syphon, and then once I've got that going reasonably well, screw the pump back on, turn the pump on, and then turn it off, and now that will just siphon back down through the pump. So, and the reason for doing that is I have two 10-litre bottles. So once I've done this once, that's all I have to do from here on in. Okay? So when I go to siphon this one, all I do is I just put that into there, turn the pump on to bring the water through the hose, then turn it off, and naturally, because this is higher, the water will pull back, and as you can see, this one's siphoning quite well. So that's that little tidbit. Here on the back of the van, I've decided to put up a little bit of shade cloth, and behind that is a black curtain which came with the van. So I originally just had that, and then I thought it's a bit of an eyesore in a way when you can see all this stuff in the back. And it's not fancy, it's not a professional custom built, but this does make it a little bit neater. Little 24-hour down there, very busy, popular with the truckies. There's a shower, and this is what we've got. We've got a beautiful sunset. There's the crow. Right. We're going to snooze here for the night. Just till the trucks go past. It's really interesting. I've been in some places, I'm out and about, you know, all this peace and quiet, and sometimes I really don't have a very good sleep. And these trees remind me of my dad's friend, family friend, Doug. If you ever come across this, Doug, when I saw these I thought of you. I believe they're part of the pine or conifer, or I think all of that's part of the pine, right? Cypress, conifers, pines, part of that genesis. Some really nice old eucalypts. Yeah, nice breeze. So glad I pulled on. Glad I went left instead of going right. I was going to keep on going down to Seymour and then down to Marysville, but I just got tired of there being nowhere really to pull up, and I thought if we go back onto the Hume, which is, I believe this is the Hume, the M31 or the Northern Highway, not sure. Pretty sure this is the Hume, M31, double check. Goes towards Wodonga and up to Benalla. Basically heading back up pretty much back up northeast, heading back northeast. So I went this way because that's usually where the 24-hour petrol stations are, where all the truckies go. And got to get rid of this arm. Been saying the arm a bit too much lately. I've just noticed through my travels that some of the best stops that I've had have been at the back of truckie stops, or here where truckies would pull up. Now I've been mindful because another trucker, he'll be able to pull up, and even if he does pull up right next to me, I don't mind. I don't think he will because he's on a bit of an angle. They'll probably pull up in behind that fella or in there. Probably fit two big boys, could probably fit in here, not a problem. And then I've still got plenty of space if I leave early to get out. And then you just got the local traffic coming through, but so far so good. There's a little place actually called Anvil. So here we are. And that's one thing I'll tell you too, in Australia, most you all put your bed there, right? Because your thinking is, well, the passenger side's to the left, okay, away from the road, and your thinking is to enter over there. But if you have your bed here, it's actually away from the roadside. And when you go out camping, it doesn't really matter, right? But in this situation, and if you aren't carrying half your life like I am, and you can just have a setup where you just literally need a bed, have your boards racked up on the inside, okay, clothes underneath your bed, a fridge, under there's first aid, what else you're going to need? Toiletries, drinking water. I probably want cooking water. Okay, then you could probably have a little space there for your laptop. Nice and streamlined. Right, you wouldn't need all this sort of junk that I've got going on, moving boxes. By having your bed here behind the passenger seat, it allows you to actually just slip from the driver's seat, boom, straight in here. A bit like a truckie's cabin. And I'd like to just have a setup like that. Not all these tubs. So that big tub's got cooking in it. Jaffle iron, gas stove. Oh, that reminds me I need to get there's the again, far out. I need to get more gas cylinders, canisters. See, I've got tarps in here, I've got tools, I've got a lot of stuff that I brought in the outcome that I may eventually find somewhere I can park the van up on a bit of land and set up a little dwelling. Do some work, save up my money, those type of things, and have a parcel of land, or just rent a bit of land off someone. Might be what I'm going to probably do, something along those lines. Yeah, motorbike helmet, little things like this that I've hung on to because I miss my bike. I miss that feeling. I had a cruiser, I've had a trail bike, a couple of trail bikes, never had a street bike. Just didn't like the positioning. Yeah, whole bunch of stuff going on in here. Got boots in case I do work on the vines, doing pruning. So just little things like that. Tuck a box. What I have started to do actually is roll this up when I'm traveling, and then that gives me like extra storage space to put all these things. You don't need too much to get up and going. I like to do an idea with a table that actually sits on the sliding door. So you would close it, you'd pull up, and it would hinge down. Right? And it doesn't need to be elaborate. So there's the mirror, there's the bull bar. Right? It wouldn't impede too much. And then that's out of the way, you see. And voila, you're good to go. Slide it open like that. Table comes down, your table's there. If you want to open and close the door, you can. The table would just move. And I was like, oh, that would be really cool. Get up in the morning, bang, your table's all ready to rock and roll. Get it at the height you want. All you got to do is take your camping stuff out, take your cooking stuff out. That's one thing with the vans. It's the people who have a set design. I admire that, because for me, it's for this, I've left it in such a way where I can just keep altering it. Put that there, put that, and eventually it'll be right. This is the setup. This is actually how I want this van to function. Because sometimes I like the idea of being able to get in through the back. Little things like this. You see this rack here actually comes in really handy. You might be seeing this before I've actually put it up. I'm testing that out. Or did I? I think I did. I did a reel. So that's what the other bit of water is. I'm just seeing if we can do a bit of bushman's or traveller's washing. And that tub, right, like that, has done oh no, I have to check it out. Look up look up Shelford, Victoria to Anvell, Victoria. I reckon we've done close to 200, about 150 k's probably. In total today, I think we've done about 300 and a bit. I had a good run today, actually, surprisingly. We had a little rest up the way, wasn't the best place. Some really icky energy going on there. Not sure what was going on. There's some police tape, and I don't know if it was something that was burnt, melted, or bags of stuff. So there was, yeah, a bit of a sort of icky vibe. going on. Could have been the heat too. It was very hot today. Must have been another heat wave, another record breaking temperature on the gauge. The van here reached 42 degrees, maybe 43 on the inside. Got very, very hot, and it's quite difficult when you're tired from doing a lot of driving and the heat, and you just want to find a nice spot to pull up and relax and get some rest. But when it's hot and there's bitumen, there's heat, there's the heat coming out of the van, off the engine, off the exhaust, the fact that it's black doesn't really help, and insulation is very minimum. So there's all these type of things going on. And like I said, it's a process. It's a bit by bit. It's, do I really need this right now? And suffering until it becomes a necessity, more than a need or want. Oh, I need to get that, or I need to insulate, or I want to insulate. Like, it's very necessary now. Now it's a priority. And the way I'm going to do that, actually, if you can see that bar up there, or maybe we leave that for another day, eh? I'm getting pretty tired. I want to have a shower. My eyes are sore. But what a morning, what a day, what a day, what a day, what a day, what a day. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not going to edit, but I did have a little Suki boy moment along the Great Ocean Road. So look out for that video. It'll be something along the lines of let's call it my little boy Suki, my little boy tantrum on the Great Ocean Road. Something like that might get people's interest. And yeah, or bitch session, really. I've had a bit of a bitch session. Just about what goes on around. Not here, see, that's the thing. This is just every day. Truckies going out. This is the real world that's going past me right now. You see some tourists, some travellers, but this is the men. This is the men. These men are like are like red blood cells or white blood cells in their trucks, right? And these highways are like arteries and veins, aortas and things like that. They're going backwards and forwards, and they're feeding the organs, which you could call towns and cities. And there may be women out there too that are driving these trucks. So the men and women, people that drive these trucks, yeah, they're soldiers. That's like the modern front line in a way. Without them, all the shops would be empty, fuel stations would be empty, there'd be nothing. There'd be close to nothing. Without the people that drive the trucks, modern society would be up in arms, because people would have to fend for themselves. And if you're wondering why my eyes are red, it's because I had a bit of a moment when that tree, right, reminded me of my dad's friend Doug. It still gets me, eh? In April, it'll be April this year, 21st of April, it'll be a year. It'll be a year since my dad passed, eh? And I was going to take a photo of that tree and send it to Doug, and I just thought, fuck. I can't even send any of these pictures to me dad. Or call my dad up and go, oh hey dad, I got a nice little possum spot. It's up near the highway. Show him a little video. Yeah, I'm a bit down on myself, or what's the word? Maybe pissed off. And I mentioned it in another video as well, that maybe you watch it, you've already seen it, or maybe you're yet to see it. It's the same deal. So a bit red with myself. That didn't do this type of stuff when he was around. Instead of just sort of floating around in an area, it's best like, well, if you're going to float around, why don't you go floating around to lots of different places? At least have some experiences for yourself, instead of being on this loop, which is what I was doing. And I might end up doing this. This might end up being my loop. Where I just stop somewhere and I have something to eat. I enjoy the local environment, scenery. Might finally get a creek to myself sooner or later. Might stop in the town and get some work. Ride a season out, which is what I'm leaning towards. It's one more week, and then this weekend is Australia Day weekend, and it's going to be a long weekend. So a lot of businesses just take the piss, and what that means is they abuse the situation. Oh, it's the holidays, it's a long weekend, there's going to be lots of people, so we're going to charge these extravagant prices. It's all a little backwards, I feel. It's almost, well, if there's more people, why is it more expensive? So that to me, that's
I'm having a bit of a rant now, aren't I? I've got to get it out. It's better out than in. To me, that seems a little, besides looking at it logically in a modern society, I'm just coming from just a human perspective. Humans looking after each other. If there's lots of people, then make it affordable. Then everyone can afford it, and you can have your business, right? But what it appears is that people rely on the tourism, so they charge extravagant amounts. Just like, well, if you want to stay here, this is what you got to pay for, which I think would be a bit silly, because that may backfire, because people go, not staying there again, that was ridiculous, extremely expensive. And then when the tourists go, I guess they rely on all of that overcharging to carry them through when there's no tourism. Then they have off-peak to encourage people to come in. You could just say, why don't you just have one bloody rate? That way everyone can afford it. That way more people will come because it's affordable. And in your on-season of tourism, because there's more people, you will make your profit, okay? And then in the off-season, because it's still reasonably priced, you'll still make your dollar. You could almost flip the script and go, well, it's actually more expensive to stay because there's less people come here, so we need to charge you more. I almost think maybe that's how you should do it, but they don't. I just find that a bit peculiar regarding whether that's business or not. I think that's mentality, that's a mindset. It's not necessarily means that that's good business at all. It's like a $5 loaf of bread and a $1 loaf of bread. The $1 loaf of bread might be really cheap, right? And nasty. Which is what the case is. And a lot of people go and buy the cheap stuff. So you go, well, what if I make a good bread? It's not $5, it's not $1, it's $3. And it's $3 all the time. And it's good bread. You would think eventually people are going to get tired of the cheap bread because it goes off, it's stale. The only way you can really keep it is in the freezer for toast. You go, oh, I bought this $3 bread. It keeps pretty good. It actually tastes pretty good. It's fresh. It's made well. It's made just with simple ingredients, and it's pretty much just as good as the $5 bread. Okay, maybe their packaging's not as fancy, and a lot of time with a lot of things, we're all just paying for the package. So that'll do. If you watch this all the way, you're awesome. You're an awesome person. I could be awesome too. And that's why you've been watching. Who knows? Yeah, a bit sunburnt there. Haven't been out in the sun for a bit, have I? But I just needed to get out in the ocean there the other day. It was good. Got a couple of good little waves. And I'm looking for that spot where I can have this type of country, not too far away from things, a little shop down the road, and then let's say if I flip this around, there's a hill up there, there's a range, and you go, well, the ocean's about 40 k's that way, or 50, even 50 k's. I'd be very happy very happy with that. All right, folks. May things with your life be good, right? And if you haven't troubles, give me a coo-wee. Seriously, don't be shy. Maybe some of the things that I've gone through in life can help me help you, and maybe vice versa. See yous.